Hey guys, Savage Joy here with Real Progressives. Um, I'm using a different computer, so it looks like there's kind of a delay, so I apologize. I'm gonna have to kind of tweak it some more. Um, Let me just add my name here because it didn't show up. Let me see. So there's a huge clusterfuck of news today, this week, I should say. Um, So I have a whole list of just really banana shit. Um, okay. So, of course, biggest news today is Julian Assange. Um, it's, I mean, we kind of all feared this day in a way. We actually have feared worse than being arrested for quite some time. And a lot of us still have that fear. Um, he, to many, Julian's a hero. He had the guts to expose things that some of it, I would assume some people didn't have access to see, and those who did had did not have the courage to leak it. Um, it you know People are really the resistors, as I say. The resistors are kind of very interesting, because they're not understanding why he was arrested. They are saying it's for rigging the election, and they're not trying to learn that that's not what's happening. Um, they see some they see him as costing Hillary the election. That's how they view him. And I'm of the thought that many others are, that I really don't care if Satan himself is the one who, dropped the emails. They wrote them. They've never denied they've written them. Why why is that not the concern? That's my concern. You write this shit and then you want to blame who you accuse of leaking them. I want to blame the people who say they're going to use, Bernie's Jewishness against him, and Hillary's going to ask Trump to run as a Pied Piper. And oh, when Hillary said that, can't we just drone that guy about Julian? I actually posted that to Cup Schumer today. I posted it in his comments because he is such a freaking idiot. And I was like, look, I'm just going to quote Hillary when in WikiLeaks when she said, can't we just drone that guy? And Hillary was asked about it in an interview, and she's like, I said that. Oh, I I don't remember, but I was probably joking. Like, she didn't even deny it or anything. I mean, it doesn't matter because we have written proof, but um they will, excuse her with anything. It does not matter. They cannot accept the fact that she just sucks. It's that simple. She just sucks. And millions of us simply did not want to give into the, do you want shit or shittier? Like, that's not a choice. That's a threat. It's a hostage situation. And many of us said we are not going to compromise. And that's because of the way she treated us. That's because of her record. That's because of all her egregious history. Those things aren't made up. those things are verifiable. There's receipts for everything we've ever accused her of. So enabling her is what this is. This is saying, oh my God, Julian's being indicted or arrested because he made Hillary lose. No, that's not actually what's happening. And she loves it. Right now, she's probably is, drinking her wine like, you know, um, Perry, that's a very interesting thought. A viewer, Perry Jackson, stated something I've seen other people post today, that Trump would pardon Julian. And I think that's really interesting. I could kind of see that. In a way, I'm kind of worried that if he does, people will be like, that's because he helped him win the election. You know what I mean? But, I want him out. I'm not saying don't do it, but you can guarantee that's what it'll happen. He only let him go because he's the one that helped him. Now, I want to read this quote from, as I call him, Chuck Schumer. I took a screenshot because I was just like, he says some really stupid shit, but this was, yeah, oh my God. How someone could be so clueless who is in government, because I don't even think he was saying it for his followers. I think he really, really believes it. Let me see. Where'd it go? He's getting reamed in the thread though, so it's pretty funny. Okay, here we go. Now that Julian Assange has been arrested, I hope he will soon be held to account for his meddling in our elections on behalf of Putin and the Russian government. So here's what's more annoying than that tweet. 21,000 people liked it. That's what's more frustrating. Not that he's just a tool. It's that people are like, oh yes, this is a great tweet. That sucks. Trump was actually asked about it today, and Trump said, this is, he couldn't have said something more stupid. I know it's shocking, but he said, I don't really follow the whole WikiLeaks thing. Seriously, that's what Trump said. I was pretty much like, you seriously just gave the worst answer. Like, oh, well, you guys know, that was just pathetic. So yeah, when I saw Chuck's post, I just let me see what I responded initially. I said, Mueller's a hero for 2 years, but now he's a liar. You're so pathetic. Go meet with your BFF Netanyahu again. You're so pure. Because don't be talking shit about accusing people of meeting with other countries and their government when you literally brag about being BFFs with Israel all the time. So it's such hypocrisy, and it's our job as progressives to call them out on this shit. I'm hoping I get blocked by one of them one day. I still haven't. I'm extremely offended Hillary has not blocked me yet. And Kamala, I go at them. Oh, and yeah, and Deborah Messing. Those three are probably the ones I go after the most. And I'm like, just block me, damn it, and I'll make it my cover photo, because the problem is they have so much hatred, they don't even scroll through it all. But I digress. I hope, see, there's no way in hell Julian is going to get a fair trial in our country. Everybody knows that. It's not going to happen. And if you follow his mother, Christine Assange, she, damn, she's taking this hard, obviously. And, she always posts really introspective things and she keeps us updated. Like sometimes they've cut off um, his internet for days. And we're just like, where did he go? Oh my God, he's not online. What's going on? And it freaks us out. He's been held for 7 years in an apartment, and now he's being dragged out, and being arrested. And this is the problem because, so many people talk about, First Amendment and this and that. But the problem is people subscribe to these talking heads on TV, like, Clinton News Network and all the mainstream media, and they regurgitate what's told to them. And then real journalists are then vilified. And that's exactly what Julian is, a real journalist. He has published things. First of all, I think people are not even very clear on the extent of the research they do. They put in thousands and thousands of hours with hundreds of employees to research each and every email before they printed it. That's why it's 100% rating for them. For over 10 years, they have 100% accuracy rating. I will literally just kiss the feet of any other publication who could say that. It's not going to happen. So the fact that people are just incensed about what he published, that's total hypocrisy. Another post I made that I find just so ridiculous is these same people who are like, yeah, fuck Julian, are the same people who were like, I don't care what you have to do, just get Trump out. I don't care if you have to hack him or if you have to, break into his computer. I just want proof and I want him out. So basically, it's the same old, same old. Democrats are, absolutely just, allowed to do anything. But if you have an R next to your name, watch out. They will come after you. It happens all the time, and it's so pathetic. Yeah, Sean, you're right. To them, he's not a journalist, which is just bullshit because he's one, and he's one of the, I shouldn't say the few, but he's one of the fewer, one that actually has respect for what he publishes and what he says. He actually does, relish in getting to the truth. Back about, I guess it was, say, 20 years ago, when Julian exposed all those things about Bush and the war, Julian was an absolute hero. He was, just a Democratic hero. He exposed Bush and all this, all of the lacking he did when it came to the wars and all this stuff. And Dems just ate that shit up. But now that he's revealing something about the Dems, different story. You can't do that to them. So it's really interesting to see. It's predictable, but it's interesting to see the way that people accuse him, yet are totally fine with people, trying to do things to Trump. Also, the thing I find very interesting, and let me pull this up on my phone quick as well. I am not sure if you guys saw this because, of course, WikiLeaks is has taken over the headlines and everything, rightfully so. But there's something else that happened today that should also be equivalent in the headlines, because I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's interesting that Julian is arrested on the same day that this comes out. Some of you guys may know where I'm going with this. Let me see, where's the screenshot? Did any of you guys hear what's going on with the Obama campaign today? Because that is what I'm referring to. Let me see if I can find this damn screenshot. Here. No. So anyway, damn it. Oh, wait. No. I'm sorry, I take too many damn screenshots. So anyway, oh wait. Okay. Breaking. Obama White House counsel indicted. Okay. Obama White House counsel Gregory Craig charged by federal prosecutors over alleged Ukraine lies. Okay, so again, this guy worked for Obama. It states at the very top of this article, it states the charges reportedly stem from the federal investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election led by special counsel Robert Mueller, which came to a formal end last month. So to me, what this means is that nobody was arrested for the Russia bullshit that Mueller cleared. Who was arrested was a guy who worked for Obama. So this is very interesting news that I posted about, and people were like, whoa, what the fuck? Because it's being swept under the rug. They don't want people to know this. So I find it just bananas that it's the same exact day Julian gets arrested, because it's, why wouldn't they want to deflect, make him the enemy, Russia, 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 and one of Obama's boys is the one that just, he just got charged. So I think that's, that's something, yet it's just pointing out people's hypocrisy. Yeah, Carrie, I heard that as well, that Mueller's report is going to lead to other indictments. One of the things that is so infuriating to me is that last weekend, a bunch of cities in different states, they had these marches to release the Mueller report. And I mean, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people went out to this shit all over the country. And I swear the first thing I thought of is, why can't we do this for Medicare for all? I mean, even like Jermaine Willis, I think that's his name, Jermaine something, from New York City, who took on Nomiki in New York. He just won, and he was leading one of the protests. Dude, you just won an election last month and you don't have shit to do? You have people who have health care, you don't have any homelessness, you don't have any of that shit. You're literally going to be sitting there protesting for the Mueller report. Here's the thing that they don't understand. This shit is going to go a certain way whether they protested or not. They are not stronger than the FBI. They're not. So if they think that they could just skip brunch and go protest in the streets for an hour and pretend they're activists, and all of a sudden they'll be like, okay, here's a report, then they're fooling themselves. Because we have real work to do, and protesting that shit is stupid. They are literally salivating at the thought that Mueller missed something in that report. He had to miss something. There's no way the Trump campaign could have been cleared. Well, guess what? Now maybe you know how we felt when Hillary was under and was going to be indicted, and they had proof after proof after proof, yet let her off because even though she was extremely careless and negligent, there's no lawyer who would try the case. So even though she lied countless times, even though there was malpractice within the actual investigation, even though she had 6 Blackberries, which were not allowed, even though she had a private server in her basement, which was unsecured. Speaking of which, that takes some damn balls to have a private unsecured server in your basement that's not allowed for 3 months, and then you're going to complain about people hacking? Dude, that's some hypocrisy. She can take that shit and shove it. So pathetic. But anyway, so we wish Julian well. We love Julian. We support him. This is, it's scary. Trust me, I don't make myself out to be something I'm not. I'm in no way Julian or, any of the journalists who get, who have gotten murdered when they've, covered stories in other countries. But there is something to be said about people who, speak their mind and share the truth. They would rather, just do anything possible to get rid of this one person than to have people aware of what's going on. And that's really scary because I fear for Julian. I fear for his mom. I fear for Chelsea. My other fear is that last time Chelsea was in jail, she tried to commit suicide 2 times. And that freaks me out. I really, really hope it doesn't go there again, but it worries me. I think we're going to have even more to get outraged about coming up, unfortunately. And it's a great distraction for the election. I'm going to keep it real, as I always do. There are some politicians coming out who are expectedly just saying garbage, but I do fear, I criticize Bernie too. I do. He's by far not perfect, and I will never claim he is. Nobody's above criticism. I fear that A, he's going to take a long ass time to come out and make a comment, or B, if and when he does comment, it's going to blow up. It's not going to be a good one. And yeah. So I'm not looking forward to that because I have a feeling the way he's going to word shit is just not going to be okay. So I'm kind of dreading that because I shouldn't say he has a habit, but he's done it, like when he made countless statements on the air about being against Venezuela, like introduced being involved in Venezuela, and then he made a stupid tweet which was like the opposite of it, and it just backfired so bad. And that's kind of what I expect to happen right here. It's like, dude, people already hate us. Just say what you really think. Who cares? They already hate us. Literally, when I was on the Humanist Report, Mike said to me, Bernie could fart the wrong way and people would absolutely flip out. And I was like, you know what? That's true. Dude could literally belch and it would be the end of the world. That's it. Like, they would rip him a new one. He is held to so much higher standards than anyone else. Even supporters hold him to higher standards than everyone else. And at the end of the day, he's one person. He will make mistakes. He is fallible. I mean, It's bananas. But I'm gonna be real, and I'm gonna say I have a really, you know, I think there's a chance he's not gonna say anything, and if he does, it's not gonna be good. Um, but anyway, um, so then what else was I going to say? Okay, so someone mentioned Tulsi. She finally, um, wait, they got, hmm? they they traded 1.2 billion for Julian? Are you kidding me? Whoa. That's a new one. I gotta look into that. I mean, I guess I'm not like, you know, doubting it because sounds pretty feasible. Um, but anyway, so I'll look into that. That's really interesting. I didn't even think about what we gave them as a trade to, to get him. Um, so speaking of Tulsi, she finally hit these 65K donations. Now I'm glad. I want her on the debate stage. Um, as many people do, including, Bernie supporters. Um, so here's my thing about Tulsi. To me, no comparison to Bernie. There's not. I mean, there's just not. He's been fighting longer than she's been alive, period. They both have strengths and weaknesses. They're different people. Now, I am Bernie all day. Like, he's my man. If she would be vice president, bring it. Totally cool with it. I've met her. We had an awesome conversation. I will never, ever, put shade on her. She stepped down from the DNC, and it was like I told her, it really, like, it gave me so much hope. When I met Tulsi, I told her that I wrote Bernie in, and I wrote her as VP. So I do support Tulsi. I support Bernie, and I'm giving him my vote. But I do support her as well. Now, even though I say this, even though, I shared a picture of me with Tulsi, and even though I said, until Bernie entered, I was going to vote for her. I am attacked every single time I say anything criticizing Tulsi, anything. It doesn't matter, even if it's showing receipts on something. Now, keep in mind, I don't do the attacks like in her past, she blah, blah, blah. I don't go there. Like, whatever. I met her. I believe she's changed. Yes, in the debates and stuff, yeah, she'll have to answer to it, but she has. And I don't think someone would endorse Bernie if they're still like homophobic and or whatever. So I don't even get into that. I just think it's smear crap. But I do have, you know, um, I do have grievances with her, such as not supporting the federal job guarantee, things like that. That is something I will stand strong in. But it's not just me. I have noticed online the amount of people who get so incredibly defensive if you say the slightest thing about Tulsi. Last night I said, I forget my exact words. Trying to think of my exact words. It was something like it's a bummer it took so long for her to raise this 65K or something like that. And it wasn't throwing shade. That's not my comment. My comment was making a point that it took a long time. It did. There's not shade there. And I'm not saying there's not reason for it taking a long time. Obviously, she doesn't have like a lot of good media exposure, things like that. I think it'll go much higher once she's in the debates. But they're like literally me making that one statement, which was actually supporting her by saying it's a shame it took her that long and she didn't have that many donations. I'm telling you, it was a thread over 30 comments just ripping into me, completely ripping into me. I was like, I don't understand why people. On to the next topic. Sorry about that. I don't understand why I'm having so many issues this week. So next I have something very exciting. We are finally being called the front runner. Yay! That never would have happened in 2016, like ever. Seeing, clips of Clinton News Network and places like that, like Chuck Todd and all those like shills saying Bernie is the front runner. It's so amazing. It is so awesome. Because I mean, really, at this point, there just is no disputing it. We are on track today to meet 1 million donations. We were only like 1,000 short last night. So I'd be surprised if we haven't already met it. So that's exciting. We've raised the most money. We've had the most individual donations. We have 1.1 million people who have signed up to work on to volunteer for the campaign. We are on the 27th of this month. There are over 400 people, I'm one, who are holding I'm kind of like a meet and greet, I suppose you would call it. But it's a campaign kickoff where we're going to discuss strategy and things like that. So there's literally 400 of them across the country. That's pretty intense. That's pretty awesome. So we have that. We have, we're kicking ass in all the polls. California, we're the top. Sorry, Kamala. Massachusetts, freaking Warren's in third. What's that say? Bernie's top of that. Ohio, we were top. Iowa, we were top. New Hampshire, we were top. Iowa and New Hampshire are the ones people really, really look at in the beginning because the Iowa caucus is always the first, and then New Hampshire they look at because that's next. And it's in history, it seems like whoever wins Iowa and New Hampshire goes on to become the nominee. It just kind of seems that way in history. And I think that's because the people see, oh, so and so won, and then subconsciously they're like, okay, cool, maybe I should vote for them. Like, I think it's part that. But yeah, I mean, we're definitely kicking butt in polls. In fact, there was an article a couple days ago from Maine that said that in ranked choice voting, which they implemented last year, if the polls in Maine are correct, as they are as of this week, they won't even need to do ranked choice because Bernie is that far ahead. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I think there's a few reasons for that. I think, well, first of all, we have over 400,000 new donors that were completely new to our computer system that didn't exist before. So it's 400,000 new people who never subscribed to emails or anything prior. Does it mean they didn't vote for him? Not necessarily, but they're interested now. I think part of that is because a lot of kids have graduated and turned 18, But I also think that people are becoming more and more aware of the fact that he's the one that planted the seed for all of this, all of the, Medicare for all and free college and things like this. He's the one that brought that to the stage. I mean, there is no denying it. Yeah, some people knew what it was, but I mean, come on. People wouldn't be talking about it unless he actually took it to the mainstream. Um, so I think it's really amazing to see those polls and things like that, and our donation numbers. I hope they stay that way, but I'm just going to relish in it as it's here. I hope it stays, but I'm just going to kind of enjoy it. Yeah, Matt, like it's so funny because it seems like I'd say 5 out of 10 times somebody like totally disses Bernie. They're like, I used to like Bernie. I voted for Bernie in the primary, but what, your morals changed overnight? No. It's like this thing, like they try to like butter you up. Um yeah, I don't trust Warren, like, period. I haven't for months. I don't trust her at all. And there's many reasons why. So yeah, when people say their second choice, I'm like, why? uh, we're always telling people to do research. Let's take our own advice. No, I am not voting for her. That's for sure. So anyway, so I wanted to just gloat that we're being called the front runner because that's so exciting. So the debates start in June. They're actually having it on 2 nights because there's now at this point, I believe there's 18 Dems running, which the last two who announced, I don't even know who the fuck they are. I've never heard of them. What I know is like screenshots of like them being totally just neo-lib. Who am I shaming? Carrie, who am I shaming? I'm confused. Yeah, I'm actually concerned about Buttigieg or I'm not sure how to correctly say it, Buttigieg. Um, I see his popularity rising, and the research I've done is not good. He is very involved with well, he made some statements about being in the military that really bothered me. And he's also made, some comments about Israel and being incredibly supportive of Israel and disrespecting to Palestine, things like that. Um, no, Carrie, that's not what I'm talking about. I was responding to Matt's comment. Um, and yeah, trust me, I know there are people who no longer support Bernie. Trust me, I know. Um, but yeah, so Mike Buttigieg, the Buttigieg. The other thing about him, people are like, oh, he wrote that amazing piece on Bernie when he was in college. So he wrote this pretty amazing essay about Bernie in college, and this was like, 15 years ago. People weren't really talking about Bernie then. So it was impressive. He knew who he was, and he wrote this awesome paper on him. Well, if you actually research, though, he was actually a delegate for Hillary in 2016. So I guess his priorities changed. Oh, Carrie, I Dem exited. I'm a very proud independent. I am not Dem. I'm gonna have to be for a month so I can vote for Bernie. But yeah, no, I support progressives. I've voted Green. I've voted Independent. I do not support anyone unless they are progressive. What that registration means, I don't care. But so anyway, I digress. Sorry about that. Thanks. Thank you, Jeannie. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was, oh, that's what else I wanted to say. The debates, I think, um, yeah, Elizabeth, oh my God, I'm sorry, but that's exactly what I think of. Buddy, damn, I still can't think of how to say it. Buddy gig is what Thomas Frank calls neoliberal professional class who have no idea working people and poor are living through. Yes, that is exactly what I thought of. We need open primaries. You are so right, Carrie. I think that one thing alone would have given us President Bernie, because so many people had their registration changed and it wouldn't have mattered. Or like, in California alone, they stuck 2 million ballots in boxes and didn't count them because they were given the wrong paper ballot. So yeah, I mean, open primaries is just one of our biggest problems. Absolutely. So what I was going to say is the debate stage. So there's going to be 2 nights. There's going to be 2 debates because there's 18 people. So I'm guessing 9 and 9. So I will bet you, and I'm sure I can't be the only person who thinks this. I will bet you that they are going to put Bernie, Tulsi, and Warren and Gravel on the same stage, and just hoping for a bloodbath. And it would be fascinating. But I'd rather see the progressives, split up and like go like take on the neo-libs. But I really, really feel like they're gonna put those 4 together. I mean, I just know they're gonna put him and Tulsi and Warren together because they want to create drama by saying, well, Tulsi, you supported Bernie, and why are you running against him now? And then they're gonna want to put Bernie with Warren because they're going to say, well, Warren, you didn't endorse Bernie after being friends with decades and the similar policy, and you endorsed Hillary instead. They're just going to want a freaking, like, just a bloodbath. Yeah, it's going to be bananas. So Gravel, yeah, I started talking about him. He is awesome. Follow him on Twitter if you have one. Throw him $1 if you can. He's amazing. He's like 88 years old and he's running solely to call other candidates out. He doesn't want to win. He said he will drop as soon as people start dropping. He's going to drop. And he will donate, he will give the most progressive candidate the his delegates. So to me, that is so awesome. I mean, I would hope he can differentiate like a real progressive. It seems like he can at this point, but I think that is just the coolest concept. Like, I'm not going to run to win. I'm just running to call people out, and then I'm going to donate my, you know, my delegates to the most progressive person. That is so badass. I love it. So send him $1 if you can. I'm not sure how much he's raised, but he's getting a lot of dollar donations. So hopefully he'll update soon. So the biggest thing today not even today, the past week has been Bernie's a millionaire. And I've asked Gravel on my show. I sent him an email yesterday. He's probably asked thousands of times to come on people's shows, so I don't know, but fingers crossed. You guys should tweet at him. You should go on Savage Joy. I think that might help. But anyway, so So we, the past few days, Twitter and Facebook, everything like that has been blowing up with Bernie saying he's a millionaire. Well, anyone who supports Bernie, obviously, this isn't a shock to us. Last, when he filed in 2016, oh yeah, I've met Bernie 4 times. Yeah, five times. I was at his birthday party in September. Um, but yeah, so the thing that people are obsessing over is that he's a millionaire. Look, he sold 3 books. One of them was a bestseller. It's not that huge of a deal. In 2016, like, all of these records are public, but people don't do research. So they're like, I have no idea how much he makes. And yes, actually, you do. There are actually more detailed records when you go to the Senate. The Senate's website. They will show you all of their monetary background and everything. It'll show you if they have money in stocks. I mean, like, it really breaks it down way more than taxes do. So anyway, as of 2015, when he first entered the race, he was at 563,000. That was his net worth. Of course, he had, like, 2 mortgages, which would basically, probably counter that. But that's what he had in 2015. Now, that being said, whatever he's made to make him a millionaire he's since acquired that. So you're talking in the past, like, 3 years. So what has he done? He's written books. And what he said was, yeah, I wrote a best-selling book. If you write one, you can be a millionaire too. He said the word can, not will be. So he said the word can, and people are just jumping all over him like, I wrote a best-selling book, I'm not a millionaire, and just, like, putting words in his mouth, like, and it's so petty and pathetic. And hell, I'm glad I contributed, Bernie. You're welcome. It's okay, because I loved your books. So what it comes down to is the people who are calling him out on this shit and, like, he's a millionaire, they would never ever vote for him anyway. Don't think they would. They wouldn't. They don't care. They're just looking for anything, to call him out on. If there's documentation showing he wasn't a millionaire in 2015 and he is now, has anything he has ever said changed in the past 4 years? Not one word. So it's not like, oh, he became a millionaire and now he's saying we shouldn't tax them, or, now he walked back Medicare for all. No, nothing has changed. Nothing in his speeches, in his priorities, nothing's changed. Therefore, there's no Bernie supporter who's going to give a crap. Like, why would any of us care? I mean, he's been in politics for 40 years. If he's just a millionaire now, that's pretty damn impressive, because you got, everyone in politics is pretty much a millionaire. And as long as, he didn't get it from big pharma and big oil and shit, how most of them got it, then I'm pretty okay with it. Oh my God. That's the point, retard. Not sure who you're talking to, but that's okay. So anyway, yeah, Clinton Foundation. Also, speaking of that, Jane and Bernie shut down the Sanders Institute while he's running, which is actually a really good thing, because it can be viewed as a conflict of interest. Now, this kind of blew up and was like, oh my God, they're shutting it down. No, actually, they weren't. They're closing it down until, the campaign is over, because, and, should he win. But one of the reasons is Bernie called out Hillary for not shutting down her foundation when she was running. So he's shutting down the Sanders Institute while he's running. It's actually a good idea. There's no other distractions. So people, will spin that as well. Also, Bernie's taxes, he said 10 years will be released by Monday. I just want to get it the fuck over with. I really don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about Trump's either. I don't care. There's so many things which are way more important. I have grown very frustrated with Bernie. Like, seriously, just hurry the fuck up and release them, because I'm just so sick of hearing about it. And I have no doubt that part of his, hesitation was revealing he is a millionaire now. And it's like, I just don't, anyone who supports him really just doesn't fucking care. So it's out in the open. He said he's a millionaire. Cool, whatever. On to the next thing. Let's try and help humanity. So, that's what they're focusing on. It's always something very, it's something that really doesn't affect us per se. They, constantly talk about things that we cannot change. His tax returns are what they are. Nothing we say or do is going to change what they say. Therefore, focusing so much time and energy on, coming at him about his taxes, that's something, that's always been very clear about Bernie supporters. We always show receipts for things. We criticize candidates on their records, on their voting history, on who they've taken donations from. As far as them, it's, he's old, he's white, he's Jewish. I mean, exactly, Bennett and Robin, I agree. I think it's grasping at straws. I don't think many of them even know what his platform is. Floyd, they are a non-issue to anyone who cares about any kind of progressive ideals. But I think it's very telling to see what people focus on. One of the things that came out tonight that someone sent me, Pelosi, an article with Pelosi. This is yet again more and more proof she is just gross. Just absolutely gross. Pelosi says she still sees Trump as a potential ally on immigration. A potential ally on immigration. Trump. Pelosi said this. So, and then in the article, this is by, I believe it's The Hill. In the article, it's on my Twitter, by the way. She states it's about intentions. Are you serious? You think Trump has good intentions with immigration? And this is another reason why people have a D next to their name and it means nothing. Manchin came out today and endorsed a Republican. You have Beto endorsed a Republican who ran against Nancy Pelosi, which is funny. He said he believes in term limits and endorsed Pelosi's guy running against her. Who else? There was one other person. Oh, Biden endorsed a Republican. Shocker. Okay, so speaking of Biden, I still think he's going to enter. What do you guys think? Is he still going to announce? he said he was going to announce by the end of February, then the end of March, now the end of here. I cannot find an exact deadline for when you have to actually, register to run for president by. I believe it's June. That's kind of what I'm finding, but nothing solidified. So I'm definitely interested to see, just so we can be like, okay, after this day, no one else is announcing. But yeah, so I still think Biden's going to run, and I think it's going to be soon he announces, because he is, I think Bernie's taxes are just like really like all the rage right now, that I think it would make less of a boom to for him to enter now, because people will be so busy attacking Bernie that they won't attack him as much. I don't know. I still think he's gonna run. Yes, it does matter if Biden runs, because he's disgusting. I mean, it matters. I mean, yeah, he has a right to, but the fact that anyone would support him is pretty egregious. Carrie, I don't know if Dems are crowning Biden. I feel like, I felt like it was Kamala, but she's kind of disappeared as of late. And then I felt like it was Beto, but he's still kind of like, some people think now it's Buttigieg. I'm not sure. Last time it was just so obvious because there were only two people, and it sure as hell wasn't Bernie. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I definitely think he's gonna run. And I'm sure one or two other people will jump in as well. So the last thing I wanted to touch on was is that I'm in Pennsylvania, as a lot of you guys know, and I know some of my viewers are as well. So Governor Wolf, who I proudly did not vote for, he actually, it came out today, one of the reasons I didn't vote for Wolf, as well as my girl Jenna in the comments, is because of his history of completely ignoring us when we protest him for fracking, and showing up with bottles of brown water people find in their in their faucets, things like that. He continuously takes money from fracking and big oil, and he's so gross. And so anyway, tonight an article comes out that says Governor Wolf rammed through approval of Mariner East 2 pipeline, which is under criminal investigation for pollution and property damage. He rammed it through, meaning it's under criminal investigation, but I'm going to push it through anyway. And I've been to where they're building it. These people are literally like, they don't have a choice. They are building these pipelines on these people's property, and they don't even let them have a say. It sounds completely illegal, but they've been doing it. It's crazy. Like, these people, I went to a school there. It's this town called Conestoga. It's not that far from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And one of the pipelines I saw was literally going underneath an elementary school. So I met a woman who had, the pipeline being, on her own property. And she went to the county, didn't do shit, went to the state, didn't do shit. It's their own property. So as someone who owns a home, I cannot fathom someone coming on my property and not even asking, but just putting a pipeline there. And then you think, what about like elderly or disabled people? What if there's a leak? How are they going to run? Like, how are they going to get out of there in time? it's so scary. It's so alarming. And when John Fetterman came on my show, you guys may have heard of him. He was running for lieutenant, governor lieutenant, and then he won the primary, and Wolf won the primary, so they ran joint in Harrisburg, PA, and I called Fetterman out right on the show, and I'm like, I need you to say, like, right here and now, you don't support fracking. Because he had yet never said it, and people started calling him Frackerman and stuff like that. And, he finally said it on my show. I was quite proud of that. But he's BFFs with Wolf. They ran together as a team. So if Wolf's doing this shit, sorry, he is too. He's obviously complacent with it. So these people's lives, at the one protest I did for this, a woman shared her story about how since they put pipelines on her land and her water has turned brown, she has had so many medical problems that she has since gone on disability and retired 15 years early. That's how bad it is. This woman shared her story from seizures to migraines to the point that she like screams in pain. I mean, this woman is going through it. And it all started when the pipelines went on her property. So there's, a criminal investigation into this, as there should be. Also, a lot of it is Native American land. So of course, it's not like Standing Rock, but there are Native American grounds where they're doing this in Conestoga. So I definitely want to go back up there. I'm sure we'll be protesting again. This is disgusting, and I'd like to actually protest Governor Wolf's office again because it's gross. I'm lucky because I live right outside of Harrisburg, so they know me quite well. Yeah. When I call, they know my voice. When I'm on the Capitol steps, one of the police guys said to me, I'm going to have to charge you a second mortgage for being on these Capitol steps. That's how often I'm there. But that's okay because it's convenient and I love it. Yeah, I mean, so many of these comments are spot on. I thank you so much for watching, you guys. We went over like a lot of stuff, way more than I thought we were going to. So tomorrow night, I have Mr. Douche back for number 5, Mr. Peter Douche. We're going to explain the story of how we fell madly in love and he became a progressive. So he's coming on 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And then Sunday, I will be traveling to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to cover a Bernie rally with Jenna. Jenna, in the comments, she's going to be assisting me with my coverage. So that's really exciting. That starts at 3:30. I'm going to start with interviewing people who are at the rally. Now, I'm really fingers crossed that there's a good turnout because it's supposed to be thunderstorms all day and it's outside. I'm going to go. I don't give a shit, but it might, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't hurt the crowd too bad. But anyway, so yeah, tomorrow night, Mr. Douche, Sunday, me and Jenna at the Bernie rally. So thanks for watching, guys. Much love. Have a good night.